Hey folks, this is Amit Kar and welcome to Meet the Experts. Today's video we're going to be talking about how Informatica Big Data Management supports one of the Hadoop vendors, MAPR. To help me talk about this integration, we have Sumit Agrawal from our product team, who is the product owner of Big Data Management. So today what we'd like to do is talk about, how does Informatica support MAPR, right? I know that MAPR has a really rich ecosystem, MAPR DB, MAPR FS. Can you elaborate on what we support?
Sure. Informatica Big Data Management support MAPR from last 3 years. We also support all the proprietary technology which comes with MAPR, such as MAPR DB, MAPR file system, and we try to stay current with all the MAPR releases, and we also support all the MAPR ecosystem packs.
Okay, so from a big data standpoint, right, that's pretty much connectivity. I can read and write data into out of MAPR DB, MAPR FS. And that's more or less talking about the storage aspect of big data. How about on the processing side, right? We talk about the compute engines, Spark, MapReduce. Does BDM run on MAPR?
Sure. In fact, we have the full polyglot engine support on MAPR, which means that we not only can run our Informatica Blaze engine on MAPR, we can also run all the other engine we support, such as Spark or MapReduce or Tez. All these engines can run natively on MAPR platform.
Wow. Okay, so what about the execution engine, right? So we talked about the storage layer aspect, the connectivity aspect of it. How does BDM, Big Data Management, actually execute on a MAPR cluster?
We can run all the other engine which we support, such as Spark or Tez or MapReduce. All of these are supported on MAPR platform.
One of the key concerns that a lot of customers have is security, right? We talked about authorization, authentication. Something like Kerberos. How does BDM, Big Data Management, integrate with MAPR security protocol?
In fact, if you look at MAPR platform, they provide multiple ways of securing your infrastructure as well as your data. When we talk about infrastructure security, we have Kerberos as well as MAPR ticket. So we, Informatica Big Data Management fully support that. As when it comes to authorization, we also support MAPR access control list. So we can support most of the infrastructure security which comes from MAPR.
Oh, interesting. What we've done so far is talked about BDM, MAPR, very technology specific, right? What are customers actually doing with MAPR and BDM?
So let me give you an example of a use case I see very common. So that use case is called data warehouse offloading use case. So let me show you in this diagram here. What we are doing is, the first thing customers are doing is to ingest this sources, which can be on a flat file, it can be on a database, and a log file, to this MAPR cluster. So this whole this is a MAPR cluster where you have MAPR DB, MAPR file system, and then they use Big Data Management to prepare your data in this platform itself. And once the data is prepared, they can offload this back to any of their data warehouse or analytics or data mart.
Okay, so just to clarify, and you can correct me here, so if I have a data warehouse appliance like Teradata, Greenplum, or even Netezza, I'm offloading that data onto MAPR cluster. I'm doing cleansing, prepping, masking, matching it, and then making high value data assets available for consumption by data warehouses or analytics tools.
Absolutely, Amit.
Awesome. So I've got one more, if you don't mind. How about a demo?
Sure, let's see. So in this demo here, you're seeing a Teradata source, and from here we are doing a bunch of transformation, and then we are writing this data back to a MAPR file system and a Hive target. Now let's go and see the connectivity of MAPR file system and see where we are actually writing the data. So if I go to the connectivity and go under connection, you will see the name node information of the MAPR file system. In my next mapping, I'm trying to read from a JSON file and write that data back to MAPR DB. So Informatica can also support writing to MAPR DB. Now let's see the connectivity of MAPR DB. So as you see from this connection, we are writing this data into MAPR file DB, and then we have given the zookeeper information, etc. And in my last mapping, I'm reading from the Hive table, which I have written in my first mapping, and doing a transformation, and then finally writing the data back to Teradata. To run this mapping in Hadoop is very easy. You have to go to the mapping runtime property and just select the engine which you want to run this. Once you select the engine, you have to give us the MAPR Hadoop connection. And after that, you have to just say run mapping. Once the mapping is running, you can go to Informatica monitoring console to see the progress of the mapping run. And as you see here, the mapping is now completed. And this is the execution plan of this mapping. Now let's go to MAPR nodes and see how many nodes this whole cluster was in. So as you see in this, we are running this mapping in 4 nodes. And let's log into one of the data nodes and see the actual output. So this is one of the MAPR data nodes, and this is enabled with MAPR tickets. So the first thing we need to do is to log in using the MAPR ticket. So now I've given the password and I've logged into MAPR, and I'm just trying to do a listing of my target to see whether my file has been written. So as you see here, my file is already been written, and this whole processing is done on Hadoop.
So hopefully in this video, you've learned how Informatica Big Data Management supports MAPR. You've learned about MAPR DB support, MAPR FS, and how you can secure your data on a MAPR cluster.
MAPR is our very strategic partner, and we will continue to support this in our big data management product. And if you guys have any questions or any feedback about this video, please reach out to us, and you can also reach out to Informatica support for any more questions.